Picture this for a second. You are trying to navigate the incredibly narrow, historic one-way streets of the French Quarter in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Always a challenge.
Right. It is a Tuesday morning, and the alleys are already packed shoulder to shoulder with wandering tourists, bachelorette parties, street performers, and there are massive delivery trucks just entirely blocking the intersections.
Standard Tuesday in the quarter.
Exactly. Or, imagine completely different scenario. You are stepping out of the humid Louisiana heat into the freezing, sterile, marble-floored lobby of a towering central business district skyscraper.
Uh-huh.
You are staring down a highly trained, deeply unamused corporate security detail, right? And their entire job, their only job, is to keep unauthorized people out of the building.
Which they take very seriously.
Very. Now, what if I told you that in both of these wildly different, almost cinematic scenarios, your ultimate goal, your entire mission, was simply to hand someone a single piece of paper?
It sounds exactly like a scene from a Hollywood legal thriller, honestly. I mean, you picture the trench coat, the sunglasses, the dramatic foot chase down Bourbon Street.
You can't cue the dramatic music.
Right. But that is the absolute daily reality of what we are looking at today. It is a world of pure, high-stakes physical logistics that the rest of us rarely, if ever, think about.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to explore the highly tactical, meticulously documented, and surprisingly intense world of legal process serving, right in the heart of New Orleans.
It's a fascinating ecosystem.
It really is. And we are going to be relying on some incredible operational blueprints and materials from Lafayette Process Servers LLC to truly understand how this invisible machinery of the justice system works. Because, as it turns out, serving legal documents in a city as eccentric and geographically complex as New Orleans, well, it's practically an art form.
It genuinely is an art form.
Yeah.
And it requires a very specific, rare type of expertise. You can't just mail a massive multi-million-dollar lawsuit and just hope for the best.
Cross your fingers and hope it gets there.
Exactly. The legal system demands absolute, verified proof that an individual or a corporation has been formally notified of a legal action against them. That physical delivery is the spark that actually ignites the entire legal process.
Wow.
Yeah. Without that physical handoff, the courtroom doors stay firmly shut.
Okay, let's unpack this because we need to establish some ground rules right away. When we talk about process servers, especially when we throw around terms like surveillance or stakeouts, it is incredibly easy to jump to the wrong conclusion.
Oh, absolutely.
I think a lot of people picture a renegade private eye or some sort of undercover cop, but the foundational legal reality here is that Lafayette process servers are not law enforcement officers.
No, they aren't.
They are also not private investigators that the general public can just hire off the street to follow a cheating spouse around.
What's fascinating here is the precise, incredibly strict legal boundary they operate within. Under the Louisiana Code of Civil Procedure, specifically Article 1293, they are court-appointed process servers. Yes. That is a crucial distinction. It means any of the thrilling-sounding activities they engage in, like skip tracing or conducting a surveillance stakeout, are strictly performed in connection with a formal court appointment.
Wait, pause for a second. Before we go further, what exactly is skip tracing in this context? If I'm a listener who has never been sued, what does it actually look like?
That's a great question. Skip tracing is basically professional, high-stakes, digital hide-and-seek.
Hide-and-seek, I like that.
Yeah, because when someone skips town to avoid being served with a lawsuit, they leave a trail, always. So these process servers use utility bills, public records, vehicle registrations, and property deeds to track them down.
But they're doing this just for the paperwork, right?
Exactly. Again, they are doing this solely to execute the physical mechanics of the justice system. They are not offering legal advice to anyone, and they aren't out there building criminal cases for the police. They are strictly the official messengers of the court.
So, if you are a listener who needs actual legal advice, you have to contact a licensed attorney. These folks are the boots on the ground, making sure the attorney's paperwork actually lands in the right hands so the attorney can do their job.
Precisely.
And speaking of the ground, let's talk about the geography of justice in New Orleans. Because reading through these materials, their operational setup really stood out to me. Lafayette Process Servers LLC actually operates out of a primary hub that is just outside the city limits.
Right.
Their main office is at 1 Galleria Blvd, Suite 1900, in Metairie. Why not base themselves right next to the downtown courthouses?
It is a highly strategic choice. And it's all about avoiding friction. If you've ever tried to drive downtown during rush hour, you know it's a parking and traffic
A
nightmare.
total nightmare.
By positioning their command center in Metairie, they create what they call a Metairie to NOLA pipeline. It gives them immediate access to the city without being bogged down in the congestion of the downtown core.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. This location allows them to function as a rapid staging ground. They can offer 24-hour priority rush availability straight into the New Orleans Central Business District, the CDD and the Vieux Carré, the French Quarter.
It's almost like having the strategic high ground just outside a fortress.
That's a great way to put it. Plus, it positions them perfectly to cover multiple surrounding local jurisdictions.
Yeah.
They aren't just serving New Orleans proper, they are hitting Jefferson Parish, where the 24th Judicial District Court is located in Gretna,
Gretna.
and they're covering St. Tammany and St. Bernard parishes. Being in Metairie makes that entire geographic web accessible.
Which is vital because overcoming the urban labyrinth of New Orleans is no joke. You are dealing with complicated, gated communities and very specific, densely packed zip codes like 70130, 70112, and 70115.
Oh, those zip codes are notoriously difficult to navigate.
Right. If a novice courier tries to find a specific residential address in these areas, they're going to waste hours just driving in frustrating circles. There is actually a direct pro tip in the company materials from the founder, Scott Frank, specifically about residential service in the French Quarter.
Yes, the morning windows.
Exactly. He notes that attempts to serve papers there must be scheduled during very specific morning windows.
And if you think about the reality of the French Quarter, that makes perfect sense.
You have to beat the peak tourist traffic. You have to navigate those infamous, narrow, one-way streets before they completely clog up with beer trucks and street sweepers.
Yep. If a process server shows up at 2 p.m. on a Friday, they aren't getting anywhere near the front door.
Not a chance.
That is the definition of crucial local street knowledge. You cannot teach that in a law school classroom. And if we look at the corporate side of the city, the challenges are completely different but equally difficult.
How so?
Well, let's say you are a lawyer and you need to serve a massive corporate lawsuit in the CBD, specifically in massive high-rises like the Hancock Whitney Center or the Energy Center.
Right, so what happens if I just hire a standard delivery guy? Can he just walk in and drop the envelope at the front desk?
If you send a standard courier, they are going to stall out at the ground floor security desk. The guard is going to tell them to leave it in the mailroom or a holding bin.
And that's a problem.
A huge problem. In the legal world, leaving a court summons in a corporate mailroom is almost always entirely invalid. It doesn't count.
Why not? I mean, a delivery is a delivery, isn't it?
Not under the law. Corporations have what is called a registered agent. This is a specific, legally designated human being who is authorized to accept lawsuits on behalf of the company.
Ah, okay.
If you hand the lawsuit to a random mailroom clerk, the corporation's lawyers will go to court, say they were never properly served, and the judge will toss your lawsuit out.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. Lafayette's team understands this. They use specialized delivery protocols to confidently bypass those lobby hurdles. They know how to speak to security, verify their court-appointed status, and ensure the documents actually reach the specific suite and the specific registered agent.
And once they finally reach that suite, or once they finally track down that evasive person hiding in a French Quarter townhouse, the job still isn't done.
No, it really isn't.
This was one of the most surprising parts of the deep dive for me. We aren't just talking about a person knocking on a door, handing over a folder, and scribbling some notes on a clipboard anymore.
Not at all.
The modern technology stack this company uses is intense. They utilize GPS-stamped proof of service, and they record the deliveries with high-definition body cam evidence.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to see exactly why that technology is so critical and why a handwritten note just doesn't cut it anymore. Undeniable proof of service is the absolute linchpin of a case. Imagine you are an attorney representing a client in a $10 million dispute. You hire a process server. They serve the papers. Months later, the defendant stands up in court, looks the judge in the eye, and claims they were never served.
And if it's just the process server's word against the defendants?
Exactly. The judge might throw the entire case out.
Yeah.
Years of legal work completely collapsed because of a single he said, she said dispute over a piece of paper.
That would be devastating.
But when you have a GPS coordinate stamped with the exact time of the delivery, backed up by crisp HD body cam video of the physical handoff to the correct person, it completely eliminates any ambiguity.
It's bulletproof.
It protects the integrity of the court's time, it protects the lawyer's case, and it stops evasive defendants dead in their tracks.
So what does this all mean for the actual legal ecosystem of the city? It means these process servers have to be intimately familiar with the physical courts themselves. The major legal hubs for New Orleans are concentrated in very specific, heavily trafficked buildings.
Yeah.
You have the Orleans Parish Civil District Court, the CDC, and the First City Court, which are both located at 421 Loyola Avenue. The First City Court is specifically in room 201. Then, just across the Mississippi River, you have the Second City Court located at 225 Morgan Street in Algiers.
Navigating the internal bureaucracy of those buildings is a full-time job in itself. Every court has its own quirks, its own preferred filing methods, and its own unwritten rules.
I can only imagine.
That is why Lafayette Process Servers offers dedicated courthouse runner services. Their team is at the Orleans Parish CDC daily. They aren't just dropping things in a basket. They are handling complex physical filings, retrieving historical documents, and conducting court research.
I was actually reading through some feedback from local law firms while prepping for this, and there was this one paralegal named Mika L. who pointed out something crucial.
Oh, the review about the CDC procedures.
Yeah. She specifically praised how Scott's team knows the CDC procedures inside and out. And if you think about it from the perspective of a busy law firm, having a partner who already knows the exact layout, the specific clerks, and the unique rules of the courthouse is invaluable.
Absolutely.
You aren't paying them to figure it out. You are paying them for the fact that they already know.
And to support that ecosystem, they offer a genuinely impressive full suite of services with very clear logistical tiers to keep the wheels of justice turning.
What do those tiers look like?
Depending on how much a lawyer is panicking about a deadline, they have routine service, which means they will attempt delivery within 3 to 5 days. They have a rush option for 1 to 2 days. And for true hair-on-fire legal emergencies, they offer same-day urgency.
They also handle something that affects a lot of everyday people in New Orleans, landlord and eviction support. If you are a landlord dealing with the First or Second City courts, they managed the swift, proper service of things like 5-day notices to vacate.
Which, for those who might not know, is a highly sensitive legal mechanism. A 5-day notice is the strictly timed countdown clock that has to be perfectly executed before a landlord can formally file an eviction lawsuit.
So timing is everything.
Exactly. If the process server messes up the delivery of that notice, the landlord has to start the entire costly process all over again.
On top of all that, they act as Louisiana registered agents for corporations, meaning they are the ones officially sitting at the desk waiting to receive lawsuits for businesses, and they provide those dedicated stakeout services we mentioned earlier for defendants who are actively running away.
It is a comprehensive logistical web. They are covering every possible angle where physical paperwork intersects with a human being. Whether the person is sitting in an executive boardroom hiding behind a wrought iron gate in the Garden District or actively fleeing a court order, the process server is the mechanism that ensures the law still reaches them.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because being great at the physical logistics is only half the battle in today's world. When you looked at the founder, Scott Frank, you see someone who isn't just operating in the shadows of the courthouse.
No, he's very visible.
He has over 20 years of experience in Louisiana legal support, and he has intentionally built a massive business footprint. He is a member of the French Quarter Business Association, the FQBA. He isn't just serving businesses, he is an active, vocal part of the commercial community.
That kind of networking is crucial, and it's a brilliant strategy. Being a member of the FQBA signals to the community that you understand the unique commercial pressures, the regulations, and the chaotic realities of operating the French Quarter.
It shows you're one of them.
Exactly. It builds profound trust. When a local hotel or restaurant needs legal support, they are going to turn to the person who is already sitting at the table with them at the association meetings.
But he takes it even a step further than that. This blew my mind. Scott Frank actually hosts a media property. It's a show called Paper Trails.
A process server with a media property? It's so modern.
Exactly. And the materials we reviewed include a spotlight on the sponsorship for this show. Paper Trails is sponsored by 337 Media, which is an Acadiana-based company.
Right.
Now, you might wonder, what does a local media and website company have to do with serving lawsuits? Well, 337 Media builds websites and masters local SEO search engine optimization to help successful brands grow. During the intro of his show, Scott explicitly tells his audience to support 337 Media because they are the digital engine behind his brand's success.
That is a masterclass in modern business strategy. It showcases a legal support company that understands a fundamental truth. You could be the greatest process server in the world, you can know every alley in the French Quarter, but if a lawyer in New Orleans searches online for help and your name doesn't pop up first, none of that street knowledge matters.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Precisely. They are deeply embedded in local physical business networks, but they are fully utilizing modern media and SEO strategies to establish their digital authority.
It's the digital parallel to their physical logistics.
Exactly. They aren't just relying on an old-school listing in a legal directory. They are creating content, building brand awareness, and partnering with local marketing engines like 337 Media to ensure that Lafayette Process Servers LLC is the undeniable dominant first choice. It's a seamless, highly sophisticated blend of old-school, boots-on-the-ground hustle and cutting-edge digital marketing.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, whether you are a legal professional, a business owner, or just someone fascinated by how cities work? I think the core insight here is that process serving, especially in a city as culturally vibrant and geographically stubborn as New Orleans, is so much more than a delivery job.
It's an art.
It is a genuine art form. It requires an incredible blend of tactical field operations, deep local street knowledge, and a strict, unwavering adherence to the Louisiana Code of Civil Procedure. You have to know how to talk your way past the security at the Energy Center, dodge the tourists in the Vieux Carré, and execute a flawless, complex filing at 421 Loyola Avenue, all while wearing an HD body cam to prove to a judge that you did it perfectly.
This raises an important question, doesn't it? I want you to consider just how much of our massive, complex justice system relies entirely on these crucial physical logistics. We tend to think of the law as this abstract set of rules, debated by brilliant judges and lawyers in grand, quiet courtrooms.
Yeah, that's the image we all have.
But before any of that intellectual debate can happen, before a single gavel drops, a physical piece of paper has to move from point A to point B. Whether you are a high-powered attorney needing guaranteed service to save a multi-million-dollar case, a property owner navigating the strict, unforgiving rules of an eviction, or just a curious learner trying to understand how society actually functions, looking at this unseen machinery gives you a profound appreciation for the real world. The law doesn't enforce itself. It requires dedicated, highly trained professionals to physically deliver it into reality.
It really grounds the whole concept of justice in the muddy, chaotic reality of the real world. But I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over today as you go about your week. We talked a lot about the modern tech stack Lafayette Process Servers uses to prove their work. The GPS stamping, the high-definition body cams. Technology is moving incredibly fast.
It really is.
So with the rapid advancement of our digital lives, how long will it be before the physical act of serving someone is completely replaced by some kind of unavoidable digital legal tracking? Could a court summons one day be securely, legally delivered straight to your digital wallet or verified through a biometric profile on your phone?
That's a wild thought.
And if that day ever comes, what happens to the uniquely human, street-level expertise required to navigate the beautiful, chaotic eccentricities of a physical city like New Orleans? It is something to think about as the digital and physical worlds continue to collide. Until next time, keep digging deeper.